Hey everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty. Today is Sunday, July 7th, 2024. This is our weekly energy update. And how are you doing at this time? We're 7 months into the year 2024. The energy I feel this week coming off of that new moon in Cancer has been very strange for me. It really depends on where that falls in your chart, your astrological chart. It has been in the sign of Cancer, so interestingly enough, I was cleaning and purging my house out yesterday, and that's really what Cancer is all about. The home and clearing and cleaning and nurturing. And so if you have felt that in the last few days or today, that's why. So I want to talk to you guys before we begin about the energy that has been shifting and changing through the last few weeks and several months and where we're at. We are raising our vibration. And so what that means is you are not changing physically, although your physicality could change. If you're someone that is clairvoyant and able to see past the physical body, you might see a difference in someone's aura. It might get lighter, or it might actually get grayer because that's a shedding before it gets lighter. Or you might have a feeling, because a lot of people don't just have that seeing, but they have the feeling. And that is a big part of what we are going through as a collective. Being able to feel into something, not necessarily being able to put words to it, but just having a feeling. And if you had a session in the last several months, you'll know that that has come up in session where we know what we're feeling, me and you, but we can't really verbalize it. That's the raising of vibration, because what's happening is we're getting out of our heads and into our hearts. And when you're in your heart, you're feeling more. And so we are allowing ourselves to feel more than we ever have before. And by doing that, you raise your vibration. You're out of your head and into your heart. We've been talking about that a lot. Getting into the energy of what you want to feel. Love, happiness, joy, things like that. That's not bypassing what you're experiencing, but that's starting to work on what do you really want. Because if I really want to feel this energy of joy and happiness, I can't keep complaining about the things that I don't have, or I can't keep bitching about things that are going on in my life. I have to figure out a way to work through all of why I'm feeling that way in order for me to release it. Three-dimensional energy is very heavy and very dense. And a lot of us have been feeling the pain inside of the body, and that is because it's heavy. But what has been happening, if you're following the Schumann resonance, is that light has been coming down more and more and entering our bodies. It's doing that to help us. It's happening for us, to help us to reveal all of those truths that we have hidden, of things, of people, of relationships, of situations that we either didn't want to see or just didn't see until now, so that we can really finally release it. And when we're able to finally release it once and for all and cut those cords once and for all, change occurs in your life. And it may be something that is small. It may be something that is large. It may be something, again, you cannot verbalize. It's just a feeling. It's a shift. It's a change. It's a feeling. That is what is happening in the collective. So if you have been or have gone through something, you thought you put it to bed, you thought you worked through it, and all of a sudden, here it is again. Well, it's happening so that you can finally release it. If you have to go through it again, and you go through it again in the same way you did before, you haven't learned the lesson yet. And so this is your next chance to learn the lesson, but I would advise you to not do that. And I hope that you've learned the lesson, and I hope that you're able to release it. Because if you've been doing any sort of spiritual growth work for yourself, you have definitely been raising your vibration, which means that you are able to lift up and see things from a broader perspective so that you can finally release it. Okay? I'll give you an example because it's happened to me. It's happened with my ex. I'm not going to give you details, but something that happened 14 years ago resurfaced a few weeks ago. A situation that occurred, or a way of being of him, happened again 14 years later. And here I thought everything was better. Everything had shifted and changed. There had been growth, but there hadn't. And so I had a choice, and it wasn't easy. And I went through a lot of feeling and deciding and figuring out how I wanted to handle it. And it wasn't easy, and it gave me a lot of nauseous feeling here. Now, this is your throat chakra. This is where it went for me. It sat here. And I had to decide what I wanted to do, how I wanted to handle it, what I wanted to say or not say. If I didn't say it and the energy sat here, how am I getting this stagnant energy out of my throat to clear it? I'm not holding the dense energy. I'm not doing that to myself. I'm taking care of me. How am I going to handle it? I'm not giving away my inner peace. So those are examples of when you go through something you already went through, and all of a sudden, here it happens again. Now what am I going to do? I'm not doing what I did before. How am I going to handle it? Those are the ways in which to step back and reflect on how you are going to handle it this time, because you don't want to be giving away your inner peace. And if you're raising your vibration, then you know that there are going to be people in our lives and in this world, in the collective, that are never going to grow and are never going to change. And that is not a judgment. That is just the way it is. So we have to learn, if we're going through the growth, how to live with these other beings in our world. And that could be someone you are in relationship with. That could be someone you are not in relationship with. When look at politics and all the division. You know, I was looking at that after the debate, and I am able to definitely look at things a little more neutral, but I wish so many more people could do so. And I looked at one candidate, and I just feel bad because he's not cognitively well. And it's upsetting to me as an empath to watch someone, and I know he may have done bad things, but it doesn't matter, because when you live in your heart and you're able to see someone else's heart, and you're able to see how people are not being treated the way they should be treated, his family should be taking care of him, and they're not. And then you look at another candidate, and sometimes you're like, why did you just say that? Why did you open your mouth? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And at the end of the day, we are all equal. We are all humans. And the more that you're able to go into your heart and see another person's heart, even if they're not a nice person, even if they're evil, I just told you a story about my ex. I still know that there's something in his heart there, but I don't have to allow it into my life anymore. That's when you know you're raising your vibration. And you can continue to raise and raise and raise and raise until you're not here anymore, until God calls you home. But the more that you raise your vibration, it is helping and serving you, which is helping and serving the collective. There are going to be people that just don't do that, and that is part of the polarity that is going on and has gone on and will continue to go on in our collective. So that was the beginning to what we're going to look at today for the 3 cards, because I don't know if you're experiencing anything right now, but if you are, just know that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And maybe it's resurfacing because you need to let it go or release it or pass the test, or just know that your inner peace is the most important thing. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I didn't even touch the cards yet. And here's the first card. The ego. What we are talking about when we are raising our vibration, we are ascending to a higher level, is our body is the same. We're not going anywhere, right? But we are ascending out of the ego and into our spiritual neutrality. What I just explained to you about the political stuff. Obviously, you can have an opinion of whichever way. But are you able to look at both people and notice their shortcomings, but also notice that they have a heart in there, somewhere in there? That's when you know that you're stepping out of the ego and you're stepping into your higher self. It's just amazing that this is the first card that is coming up for us, because we are all working through, if we're doing the work, improving our spiritual self and dissuading the ego self that is no longer serving us. Wow. The Archangel, if you're going through this and you're having a hard time, or you're in your head a lot, which is egoic, the Archangel Jophiel is the one you want to call upon. She's the one that can help you to work through your mind space. All right, we're going to pull 3 cards now. So I'm just going to ask for 3 cards. And we have this old deck, actually, that I've been working with. Okay. Okay. And it came out, they wanted to come out again, so we're going to see why. Okay. So we have what we just talked about. We're really working on the ego. When you're feeling this heaviness and this denseness, it comes from the ego. And when you feel that, don't judge it. Notice it. And when you notice it, I want you to start to consider what is going on for you and what you need to really work on for yourself. Everything that we talk about is a shift and a change to help you to realize that you have everything that you need right inside of you to work through what you need to work through. This is not ever to disempower you. It's actually to empower you to know that you can work through it. Yes, of course, you need support, you need guidance, you might need help in clearing your energy field. But at the end of the day, God equipped us with all we needed to work through all of these things, because He knew we were going to be here on this earth at this time. So take the time that you need to heal. That's what this card is saying. Take the time that you need to heal. The need to forgive yourself or others is important. You might experience a lot of sadness, a lot of regret. Whatever you feel, allow yourself to feel it and be very patient with the process. What I have been going through, I've shared with you just now, is taking a long time for me to work through it. And I'm an Aries, so I'm not patient, but I keep getting the message to be patient. So I know I have to go through this slowly, because if I go through it faster, it's exhausting to me. So you got to really listen to what you're experiencing, because it's very important. The second card is asking you to start to honor yourself and to know that you have a guardian angel working with you to help you through the healing process. And the third card, and the most important card, is the path toward enlightenment, which is what we're talking about, with joy and happiness, a job well done. Remember to bring in so much gratitude, because the Archangel Michael is saying you have the world, which means that you are doing the work and you're going to get to the other side. The sun is shining and ready to help you and support you on this journey of life. I hope that this message helps you guys this week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.